morning. Oh. Test. It's not on. It's a good start. Just wait till I've got there. Where's that tip down? No sound. Start, is it? No. Hold it up. Test. Lenny wouldn't mind. Okay. My name's Carmel, and I've been given the honour of opening up or starting this farewell to Lenny today. Lenny had a lot of favourite songs, and this one she asked me to sing for guitar. And I hope we do it justice, but the mic ain't coming to help us out with that. So we'll see how we go. Thank you. The song is Pledging My Love, and Lenny Love, and this is another song. So ignore the guitar playing. I hate playing this guitar. So, yeah, yes, I know. Yeah. Forever, my darling, your love will be true. Always and forever, I'll love only you. You promised me, darling, your love in return. May this fire in my soul, dear, forever burn. My heart's at your command, dear, to keep love and to hold. Making you happy is my desire. Loving you is my goal. I'll forever love you for the rest of my days. I'll never part from you and your loving ways. Just promise me, darling, your love in return. May this fire in my soul, dear, forever burn. My heart's at your command, dear, to keep love and to hold. Making you happy is my desire. Loving you is my goal. I'll forever love you for the rest of my days. I'll never part from you and your loving ways. Just promise me, darling, your love in return. May this fire in my soul, dear, forever burn. May this fire in my soul, dear, forever burn. Thank you.
Well, good morning everyone and welcome. On behalf of Lynnette's family, thank you for being here today as we come together to remember and most importantly to celebrate the life of Lynnette Thompson, or Linny as she was lovingly known. And a celebration really is the most fitting way to describe today, because Lynnette was someone who was so wonderfully full of life. She had an energy about her that was hard to miss. She loved to sing, she loved to dance, and it seemed she simply never stopped. Lynnette embraced life with enthusiasm, and in doing so, she brought so much happiness and colour into the lives of those around her. How fitting then that we began today with music, and not just any song, but one carrying such a beautiful and personal memory. We heard Pledging My Love, and I'm not sure if Carmel explained the meaning behind it when the microphone wasn't on, but it's a song that reaches right back to a very special day 43 years ago when Carmel sang it for Lynnette and Michael at their wedding. To hear Carmel sing those words again today brings us full circle, from a day filled with hope, happiness, and the promise of a lifetime together, to this day when we gather to honour all those 43 years came to hold. Michael, there are no words that can truly ease the sadness of saying goodbye to someone who has shared so much of your life. But within that sadness are 43 years of memories, of ordinary days and special occasions, of challenges faced together, of laughter, music, family, and love. And those memories are yours forever. And for everyone here today, while there will naturally be tears, I think Lynnie would also want there to be smiles. She would want us to remember the fun, the laughter, the singing and the dancing. She would want us to remember her as she lived, with plenty of spirit and with the love of life that simply could not be contained. So today we will do just that. We will celebrate Lynnette. We will remember the songs she sang, the dances she danced, the laughter she shared, and above all, the love she gave so freely. Anyone who knew Lynnette well knew just how much she loved Christmas. She loved everything about it. The decorations, the sparkle, the excitement, the music, and most of all, the happiness that Christmas could bring. And even today, in true Lynnie fashion, that love of Christmas is being shared with others. Plenty of you have brought your Christmas decorations, but if anybody hasn't placed them up the front here, please feel free to do so now or later. These decorations won't simply be packed away after today. Lynnie being Lynnie, she wanted them to go somewhere where they could bring joy. They will be donated to the children's ward at the hospital, where hopefully they will add a little Christmas magic and bring hope, happiness, love and laughter to the children and their families. And there is something special about that. Even as we gather to say goodbye to Lynnette, something she loves so much will continue to bring smiles to others. And perhaps that is one of the loveliest ways we can remember her. So when those decorations sparkle at Christmas time, may they carry with them just a little bit of Lynnie's sparkle. In a moment, I have the privilege of sharing Lynnette's eulogy with you on behalf of her family. Today it will be shared in two parts, and the first is particularly special because these are Lynnette's own words, part of her story written by Lynnette herself. There is something quite meaningful about being able to hear Lynnie's life remembered in her own way, through her own memories and from her own perspective. I will then continue with the second part of her eulogy, which has been lovingly added to by her family, sharing their memories and reflections on the Lynnie they knew and loved. So in many ways, Lynnie gets to tell her own story today, and knowing her, I'm sure she wouldn't want it any other way. So here goes. Well, hello there. If this is being read out, means I am no longer here. So let's begin. I was born in Maryborough the 22nd of February 1957 and reckon I hit the ground running. My life has never been dull. Daughter to Irene and Ian Mackenzie, sister to Jeanette, born in Maryborough prior to me, brother Gordon, born after me in Hewenden, so I am the middle child. My earliest memories was life in Paluma, Mount Speck, at the beautiful mountain range north of Townsville. I started school at 4 years old. We had no power, no septic, but to me, life was great and simple. I started my love of sport, especially running, and won general medals and trophies. So next move off to Ayr for a short stay. I don't remember too much, but lived across from the railway line, and we used to sit and count the carriages going by day after day. On we moved to Monto, in which we spent 7 years of my schooling. Excuse me. My schooling, grade 4 through to grade 11. I continued my love of sport and started singing in the choir. So many memories. One particular school holidays, 14 years old. First weekend riding my push bike with my sister and up the hill, and my foot slipped off the pedal and over the handlebars I went and hit the road. My sister thought I was dead. So the AMBO, Mr. Kane and Jeanette lifted me onto the stretcher, into the ambulance, around to the police station to tell Dad, and then to the hospital. I'd broken my left collarbone. Another one of my many antics, it was Monto show day, and Dad was at the show wood chopping. He had left his handcuffs on the bed. So yes, you guessed it. Lynnette had to try them on. Having toy ones, they pop on and then release. No, not the real McCoy. The more I squeezed them, the tighter they got. Thank God I only did one wrist. So after Mum stopped laughing, she said that Dad had the keys and I would have to go to the show to get them. To my children and grandchildren, I can't promise I will be here for the rest of your life, but I can promise that I love you for the rest of mine. Wherever your journey in life may take you, always be brave and strong. Believe deep in your heart you are smart and capable of achieving anything your heart desires. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, always remember whose children and grandchildren you are. I love you, my Michael, 40 plus years together through thick and thin. My heart, my soulmate, my love. I love you till death do us part. Now that the pages of my life have come to an end, I know that all my family will be one of the most beautiful chapters of my life. Always keep me in your hearts as you are always in mine. So here we are now born here. Life has come full circle and now resting in peace. Bye for now, Linny. And now the second part of Linny's life. Today we gather to celebrate the life of Lynnette, a beloved wife, mum, grandmother, friend, colleague, performer, artist, and someone who embraced life with remarkable energy and enthusiasm. When we think of Lynnette, one of the first things that comes to mind is that she never stopped. She was always out and about, always involved, always ready to lend a hand. Whether she was heading off to country music practice, performing in a concert, helping set everything up beforehand, or staying back long after everyone else had gone home to pack everything away, Lynnette gave her time and her heart without hesitation. She had a generous spirit. She believed in being part of something bigger than herself, and she showed that through her actions every single day. She wasn't someone who simply attended events. She helped make them happen. Lynnette also had a deep love for the stage. Acting brought her so much joy, and throughout her life she performed in many musicals and theatre productions. Her very first play was Sinbad, where she played the lead role. That was just the beginning of a lifelong passion. Whether she was singing, dancing, acting, or simply making people laugh, Lynnette had an incredible ability to bring joy to those around her. Her story with Michael began in 1980 after she joined the Royal Australian Air Force as a police trainee. Michael happened to be her weapons instructor, and Lynnette loved to joke that they fell in love over a pistol. It was a story that perfectly reflected her sense of humour. They were married on the 1st of January 1983 and began a wonderful life together built on love, adventure and service. Like many military families, they moved wherever the Air Force needed them. Their first child, Siona, was born in Melbourne in 1984. Chaska joined the family in Adelaide in 1986, when Lynnette retired from the RAF and proudly took on what she affectionately called the role of domestic engineer. Then in 1989, while posted to Amberley and Ipswich, their family was completed with the arrival of Locke. The postings continued to ADFA, then Point Cook in Melbourne, before returning to Amberley in January 1995. When Michael discharged from the Air Force later that year, they finally put down roots on acreage in Maryborough, creating the home they had spent so many years dreaming about. Never one to stop learning, Lynnette went to TAFE to build on her administration skills before joining the Building Services Authority, later known as the Queensland Building and Construction Commission. She dedicated 25 years to her career, earning a diploma in government along the way. She took pride in her work and the contribution she made. Lynnette was also incredibly creative, whether she was crafting, completing diamond art, cross-stitching or designing something entirely her own. She found joy in making beautiful things. She was especially well known for her handmade bonbons, each one lovingly created and eagerly anticipated by family and friends. She also loved taking photos and was affectionately known by the family as our Japanese tourist. No matter where we went, Lynnette always had a camera in her hand, capturing every milestone, every holiday, and every family gathering. Before she pressed the shutter, there was one familiar phrase we'd all hear: be nice. If there was one time of year that truly belonged to Lynnette, it was Christmas, because she and Michael were constantly moving during their Air Force years. She created traditions that made every new house feel like home. She understood that Christmas wasn't about a place. It was about the people you shared it with. Everyone knew the rule. If you visited at Christmas, you couldn't walk through the door without hanging your own bauble with your name on it on the Christmas tree. It was her way of saying, you belong here. She would happily admit that cooking wasn't her greatest talent, but baking certainly was. Her Christmas cakes and puddings were made from scratch the old-fashioned way, and no Christmas was complete without her wonderfully naughty alcoholic eggnog or Bates. Christmas Eve meant gathering together in front of one of the many beautifully decorated Christmas trees throughout the house while Lynnette read to the family. And of course, Elvis Christmas carols would be playing in the background. Even now it's impossible to hear Elvis at Christmas without thinking of Lynnette. In 2018, Lynnette was diagnosed with breast cancer. After successful treatment, she enjoyed almost 5 years cancer-free before receiving the devastating diagnosis of stage 4 breast cancer in late 2022. Many people might have slowed down after hearing those words. Not Lynnette. During these last 3 years of her life, she continued doing the things she loved. She kept performing in theatre productions. She kept singing with her country music family. She continued riding motorbikes with Michael and the Military Motorcycle Club. She loved catching up with the neighbours for Thursday market morning at the Services Club, where there was always plenty of laughter, conversation and friendship. She kept creating, laughing, making memories and living life on her own terms right until the very end. That determination says everything about who Lynnette was. She refused to let cancer define her. Instead, she chose to fill her days with music, family, friendship, creativity and love. Lynnette leaves behind a lifetime of memories. She leaves traditions that will continue every Christmas, songs that will always remind us of her, handmade treasures that will be cherished for years to come, and a family who were the centre of her world. Although our hearts are heavy today, we are so incredibly fortunate to have known her, loved her, and have been loved by her. Every time we hang a Christmas bauble, hear Elvis singing Blue Christmas, watch a theatre production, listen to country music, or see someone giving their time to help others without expecting anything in return, we will think of Lynnette. Thank you, Lynnette, for your laughter, your kindness, your creativity, your strength, and the love you gave so freely. Thank you for showing us how to build a life full of purpose, joy, and family, no matter where life takes us. You were deeply loved, you will be profoundly missed, and you will never, ever be forgotten. I now invite Sienna to come forward.
Today we gather to celebrate the life of my beautiful mum. A woman who was the very definition of what a mother should be. She loved with her whole heart. Can't see from the tears. Every night without fail, she would read to us, sing and tuck us into bed. Once we were older, she loved to yell, "Thompson kids, toilet teeth bed." At the time, those moments felt so ordinary, but looking back, they were extraordinary gifts. They were her way of telling us every single day that we were loved, safe and cherished. What made her even more special was that her love didn't stop with her own children. She had a remarkable way of making everyone feel like family. Whether you were a friend, a neighbour, or someone who simply needed kindness, she welcomed you with the same warmth and care she gave us. So many people have stories of how she made them feel seen, accepted and loved. That was just who she was. Mum taught us that being a mother wasn't simply about giving birth to children. It was about showing up, giving your heart freely and loving people without expecting anything in return. Although our hearts are broken, I know that the greatest way to honour her is to carry the love forward, to care for one another as she cared for us, to offer kindness freely, to make people feel welcome, to love deeply and generously, just as she did. Thank you for every bedtime story, every song, every dance, every comforting hug, and every sacrifice that you made. Thank you for showing us what unconditional love looks like. You are the heart of our family, and while your absence leaves an ache that words cannot express, your love will remain with us forever, from here to the moon and back.
Thank you, Sienna. I now invite Steve from the Battlers Motorcycle Group.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Steve Howe and I'm a member of Battlers Queensland Tri-Service Military Motorcycle Club, as was Lynnie. Lynnie was a founding member of our club, and as she did with everything she was involved with, Lynnie was very passionate about it. Lynnie was very involved with the raising of money in the support of veterans and the care packages which we sent to service personnel over in Iraq. It was Lynnie's idea that as well as supporting veterans, our club should also support Hard Yakka and Susan River, Harvey Bay. The support is ongoing and our club regularly attends the passing out parades. On Anzac Day over the years we have marched in many small towns to support the community. There are two places in particular that I would like to mention. Following a holiday in Norfolk Island with Lynnie, Meg, my wife and myself, our club was invited to attend the Anzac Day March. So in 2025 a group of us attended and Lynnie was very involved in the events of the day. The other memorable Anzac Day was Highsville 2016. The word had spread around that a military motorcycle club would be attending the dawn service and march, so the locals were keen to attend. After the service was completed, Lynnie stepped forward in front of the cenotaph. We wondered what she was doing, and with no music, Lynnie sang Sauve la Bay, which is about a Gallipoli campaign in World War I, a very sad song. Well, you could hear a pin drop that morning. People were wiping away tears. It was very moving, and afterwards people were thanking her for an amazing performance. This would have to be the most memorable service we ever experienced. Lynnie was very proud of the time she served in the Air Force, and it showed in the way she conducted herself both within our club and also when we were in the public eye. I believe this sums up Lynnie, what a beautiful and caring lady she was. We all love you and we will miss you, Lynnie.
Thank you, Steve. We will now hear from Gail from the Players and then Gail from the Country Music Association.
Good morning, everybody. Well, where to start with dear Lynnette's theatre history, which she shared with so many of us here today and with other people who could not be here to celebrate this wonderful woman's life. Lynnette's great love of all things theatre was so very obvious to everyone due to her enthusiasm, dedication and happiness when she was in any productions, whether musicals, melodramas, one-act plays, theatre restaurants, comedies and pantomimes. Whether she was one of the backstage crew, one of the cast, or supporting and assisting other cast members, she was their theatre mum. Lynnette's ongoing support for Maryborough Players over many years as a member and life member and production manager, and in Little Theatre Productions, and in other theatre organisations on the Fraser Coast, Lynnette could be relied upon. She was professional in all aspects of theatre, and she would not miss rehearsals or performances unless it was unavoidable. In 2015, the Players were to perform a theatre restaurant at the RSL Club, meanwhile back at the... And unfortunately, Lynnette was involved in a car accident on her way to opening night. So of course she could not take part in the show and we didn't know what was happening when she didn't show up. Anyway, we found out later what it was. Lynnette was able to perform on the second night and the comedians in the show gave her heaps, commenting that she should have just told us if she didn't want to perform on opening night. At meetings, Lynnette would always check her little black calendar diary before she would agree or could agree to Players' general business items such as changes of dates for meetings, future productions, etc, etc. She would say, I can't do that night or day, I have a country music concert, or Michael and I have a motorcycle ride on that day. So John and Loretta Lawrence and I, we would smile and just wait for Lynnette to come up with a date of when she was free. Lynnette and I met in a production of one-act plays at Little Theatre in the mid-1970s, and we were two of the wives in a sultan's harem. Of course, the costumes were made of thin material, not very warm, and we were freezing as the performances were held in winter. And if you know Little Theatre that was in Queen Street, it was always cold there even in summer. However, we had fun and our theatre friendship grew from there. Lynnette's theatre history with Maryborough Players was extensive, and the following are just a few of the productions she took part in. In 1979, as Lynnette Mackenzie, she played the lead role of Sinbad the Sailor in the pantomime of the same name, and she received the Actor of the Year award. In 2010, these are the productions now, in 2010 Scrubbers, 2012 Pirates of Penzance, 2013 Aladdin the Pantomime, 2014 Witches Abroad, 2014 Wind in the Willow, she and Chaska were rabbits, if I remember. 2015 Meanwhile Back at the second night only. 2016 Christmas in Paradise, Lynnette played the long-suffering wife. 2017 My Fair Lady. 2018 Mary Poppins, Happy Ever After, which was a world premiere. 2021 Cinderella Enchanted. Lynnette was our production manager and was also in the ensemble. And 2022, The Addams Family. Lynnette was old Grandma Addams. In between these plays productions, she also took part in other productions with other theatre organisations, community events such as the Mary Poppins Festival. She was always a wonderful chimney sweep, and in many other community events. I would like to finish this dedication to our dear Lynnette by reading a line from her as production manager in the Cinderella Enchanted program. The World of Live Theatre is a magical place, and I encourage anyone who has never had the opportunity to be on stage to work behind the scenes and to come and give it a go. You can just hear Lynnette saying that. And in conclusion, I'm sure our dear Lynnette is already lining up cast and crew in a heavenly production, and it would be all Christmas, you know, for sure, and Elvis as well. She'll be happy she'll meet him. And everyone will be wearing angel wings. So rest in peace, our dearest Lynnette.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Gail, and this is Avril, and we're from the Australasian Country Music Association, the Wide Bay branch. In early years, Lynnette was compere for every branch show in which our branch, Wide Bay branch, competed when festivals were run at our ACM hall in Yandina. She always did a wonderful job, which was shown by her winning the comparing sections on several occasions. Lynnette's singing at these festivals was also rewarded with many wins, and her name is proudly displayed on several shields in the ACMA hall in Yandina. If you're passing through, pop in and have a look. Throughout these years, she gave so much of herself, serving in every executive position within our club and stepping forward whenever she was needed, because she cared deeply about our club and about the people in it. But it wasn't the position she held that defined Lynnette, it was the way she treated people. She celebrated the successes of others, offered encouragement when it was needed, and helped create the welcoming spirit that has always been such an important part of our club. In 2024, Lynnette was presented with her Life Membership Badge in recognition of all her years of service and dedication. But Lynnette's legacy is not measured simply by the trophies she won, but by the friendships she nurtured, the encouragement she gave to others, the joy she brought through her love of country music. She was an important part of our ACMA family, and her presence enriched our club in countless ways. Her quiet support, kindness and generosity touched so many lives. Our country music community is much more than a club, it's a family, and Lynnette was one of the people who helped to make it that way. Her friendship, her dedication and her caring nature have left a footprint that will remain with us for many years to come. Although we will miss Lynnette deeply, we are grateful for the privilege of having shared so many wonderful memories with her. Her music may have fallen silent, but the kindness she showed, the friendships she nurtured, and the love she shared will continue to echo in our hearts. On behalf of us all in country music, thank you, Lynnette, for your years of service, your unwavering friendship, and the joy you brought into our lives. You will always be remembered, always be cherished, and always be part of our country music family. Rest peacefully, dear friend. Your song may have ended, but the melody of your life will live in all of us until we meet again. Thank you.
Thank you for the tributes that have been shared today. There are, of course, so many stories and memories that Linny that could be shared today. And I'm sure if we opened the floor with the life and personality as big as Linny, we could quite easily be here for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, our time here today simply doesn't allow us to hear them all, but those stories are far too precious not to be shared. So later when you join the family at the RSL, please take the opportunity to share your memories then. We're now going to take a few moments to reflect on Linny's life through a collection of photographs. Memories filled with family, friendship, love, laughter, and of course, plenty of fun. As we watch, may we remember Linny just as she would want us to be smiling. As we come towards the time when we must say goodbye to Lee, perhaps we can find some comfort in remembering just how much love surrounded her life. At the very heart of that life was Michael. Lynnette and Michael shared a very special bond, a partnership built on love, friendship, laughter, and all the experiences that came with sharing a lifetime together. From pledging my love being sung at their wedding all those years ago, to hearing it once again today, theirs is a love story filled with so many memories that will remain with Michael always. And then there was Linny's family, whom she cherished so deeply. They were her pride, her joy, and such an important part of everything she did. She loved being surrounded by those she cared about, creating memories, sharing laughter, and simply enjoying life together. Linny certainly wasn't someone who stood quietly on the sidelines of life. She sang, she danced, she laughed, she loved, and she made her presence known. So perhaps today we shouldn't think of Linny as having reached the end of her story. Maybe she has simply moved on to her next performance. The curtain may be closing on this part of her life, but somewhere beyond that we can see. Perhaps another stage is waiting, the lights are coming up, the music has begun, and Linny is ready to sing and dance once more. So when you hear a favourite song, when Christmas lights begin to sparkle, when someone gets up to dance, or when someone's laughter suddenly fills a room, may you think of Linny. May you smile and remember a woman who truly lived, who loved Michael, cherished her family, treasured her friends, and filled her years with life, love, music, and laughter. And may we imagine Linny now taking her place beneath those lights, ready for her next performance, still singing, still dancing, and still shining as brightly as ever. I now invite Peter Green, representative from the Maryborough RSL, to come forward and pay tribute to a late comrade.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Peter Green. I'm Vice President of Maryborough RSL Sub-Branch. But first of all, I'd like to wish Mick and the family all our condolences, and the board and the President's here as well. Lynnette Thompson, who served in defence of our nation. Today, I join you in the mourning the passing of one of her own. Lynnette enlisted into the Royal Australian Air Force on the 30th of June 1980. And Lynnette saw postings and attachments such as Wireless Training Unit on the 30th of June 1980, Headquarters RAAF Police 05 August 1980, RAAF Support Unit 23rd of October 1980, Headquarters Support Command Unit 11th of January 1983, and Base Squadron Edinburgh 25th of February 1985. Base Station Edinburgh was Lynnette's discharge, which was on the 14th of May 1986. Lynnette had the following attachments during her enlistment: the RAAF Support Unit Sydney on the 4th of May 1982 to the 10th of May 1982. For her dedicated service, Lynnette received the following honours and awards: the Australian Defence Medal. This poppy, a link between our comrade and those of us who remain, today I place it in remembrance of Lynnette. Oops, sorry. When you first came into the theatre, you were given a poppy. I'd now like to ask family and friends, ex-servicemen, that if you wish to come forward and lay a poppy, I'm sure you'll look forward to that. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll now recite the ode. This will be followed by the last post, 1 minute silence, and then the rouse. Those who are able to stand, please do so. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget. Could we have the last post, please? Can we now have the rouse, please? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may now be seated. I'll now present Lynn's service certificate and the national flag and medallion to her family. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is the conclusion of my little service. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Peter. We now come to the words of committal, and I'm sorry, but if I could ask you all to please be outstanding again. We've gathered to honour Lynnette, to give thanks for her life and to commend her into peace and rest. With love in our hearts and gratitude for all that she has been, we now entrust her into the gentle keeping of eternity. Lynnette's journey among us is complete, but the love she shared remains. And so, with respect, tenderness and farewell, we now commit her body to be cremated, trusting that she is at peace, reunited with those she has loved and lost, and gently held in everlasting rest. May she be surrounded by light, may she be at peace, and may her memory remain a blessing to all who knew and loved her. Thank you. You may be seated. Because we're in August and it's getting close to Christmas, I thought I might finish the service today with a poem for Linny. It's called Linny's Christmas Sparkle. When Christmas lights begin to glow and carols softly play, we'll think of Linny's smiling face and all she'd do and say. We'll miss her singing Christmas songs, her dancing and her cheer, the laughter that could fill a room, and simply having her near. There'll be an empty place this year, a sadness we can't hide, but all the years of love remain with Michael by her side. Her family meant the world to her greatest joy by far, and now when Christmas lights appear, we'll think of her bright star. And somewhere on another stage where Christmas never ends, perhaps she's singing one more song with dearly missed family and friends. So hang the tinsel, trim the tree, let Christmas laughter start, for Linny's sparkle hasn't gone, it lives in every heart. And when those Christmas baubles shine, remember as they do, the greatest gift that Linny gave was all the love she gave to you. So raise a glass and play her songs, and if you feel the chance, smile for Linny, sing out loud, and most of all, get up and dance. This now brings our service of celebration to a close. On behalf of Michael and the entire family, thank you for being here today, for your love, your support, and surrounding them with your presence as together we have remembered a woman who brought so much life, love and laughter to this world. Although our time here has come to an end, the celebration of Linny certainly doesn't have to. You're warmly invited to gather with the family at the Maryborough Services Club, where you can continue sharing the stories, the memories, the laughter, and perhaps even a song or two as you continue to celebrate and honour your beautiful Lynnette. But there could really be only one way to finish today, with music. Our final song is one that Linny would sing to her children, her grandchildren, and quite frankly, anyone who would listen, and it holds precious memories for her family. So as we hear it today, don't simply think of it as a final song. Imagine Linny singing it to you just one more time. And if you know the words, please feel free to join in. Thank you everyone for being here today and for helping us celebrate the wonderful, colourful and unforgettable life of Lynnette Thompson. We can have the music and the pallbearers if they could please come.